Good morning. Good morning. It's a bizarre day to be doing a video on Wednesday. But during the Thanksgiving weekend here in the States, I was with my family and then thought I could do it afterwards and just couldn't. So we're going to start today and it's going to be fun because we're going to talk about what does it take to be a frequency stabilizer during this month and what that might look like for you. Because wow, we're in a volatile and revealing month is the best way that I would describe it. When we're the solar activity in our nervous system, voltage, our emotional programming, and the identity upgrades are all happening at once. At once. And so let's just backtrack and go. We come off of the Thanksgiving weekend here in the States, and on Sunday, November 30th, um, after almost 24 hours of like consistent M class, something's going on. I can feel it coming. We had an X1.9 class solar flare. So it came out of nowhere, really. And it was a zapper because it felt different. It was deeper and more internal. And many of us were offline for a full day afterwards to integrate. I was. I barely could get my energy together from being around, babies, dogs, kids, all sorts of emotional things that were going on as part of that weekend. And 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 then I could feel that flare sort of building. And I was on the couch, just like, nope, sorry. Wrote you guys a note I posted it on YouTube and went, that's it, not happening. So this week we're entering another wave of strong solar influence. But before we go into this hype or this overwhelm, I want to bring you some accurate, grounded solar intelligence from both Alexander Quinn and Pam Youngins because we want to have as clear as a picture as possible. We're focusing on being a frequency stabilizer, right? And we're going to use a leadership lens. And we're going to sort of spread it out like it's an energetic map and create a set of assessment tools that can help us sort of stay sovereign during one of the most intense upgrade quarters of this year. Because don't forget, separate from what's going on with the solar flares, we still have the grand water trine with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces Saturn's now direct, and we have a full moon tomorrow on Thursday, the 4th. So let us begin. So first and foremost, what we've usually what we've been seeing is unusual solar activity for 3 to 4 weeks, and it's been sort of notching itself up. And Alexander Quinn does a great job explaining this as we're approaching a massive sunspot region. So if you look at spaceweather.com, you can see the pictures of, as this sun rotates, we can start to see the spot, and then there's a point where it becomes in direct alignment with Earth. And NASA's Perseverance rover, I think that's the name of it, on Mars has even rotated to face Earth to kind of go like, what can we capture as part of all of this? This region is really highly energized on the sun. It's already been releasing frequent CMEs and it's interacting with fast solar winds that are taking it right straight towards us. So when we combine these, then what happens is we get this voltage, and the body has to buffer things more rapidly, and that's probably what you felt on Sunday. So I want to make a crucial clarification from Pam Youngins that she posted yesterday. She said, fact check, from yesterday. There is a coronal hole visible on the sun. It's a healthy size. It's not one of the most massive catastrophic features that we've seen that they're saying online. Like she's like, just cool your jets. It's not the biggest thing we've ever seen. However, with the high-speed solar winds, the hole is expected to start releasing energy plasma to us today, Wednesday, which is why I decided to do this today and tomorrow, Thursday. We can expect some G1, some G2 magnetics, which means the KP index is going to go up to 5 or 6, and it might go higher, it might go lower. We get to see, right? So then it's important to put this into perspective and accuracy, which is we're absolutely elevated in solar activity right now. That's one thing we know. Number two, we also know that it's absolutely integrating high voltage plasma codes into our systems, right? Which is another reason why I wanted to talk about this today. We thought, oh, I could just skip a week. And I was like, no, this is a really big day. Let's talk about this. But we're not in the extreme levels of being hyped by some of the online circles. And we are in a strong, manageable electrical and energetic instructive phase for ourselves. So this means that we can expect some disruptive sleep. We can expect some emotional spikes, more than we've had. We can expect our nervous system to be overstimulated. We can expect our intuition to be heightened, right? Like I love these two. This is the 20 in the tarot, right? And this is the high priestess. So we can expect our pineal glands to be activated, and we're going to bring in information. We can expect tech interference. We can expect rapid internal upgrades, and without the collective collapse narrative. So let's just like cut that out. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying it's ridiculous. I'm saying stay away from the fear of that. Okay, so this is where assessment becomes our superpower. And Alexander Quinn described it really beautifully. He said that in this next 3 to 4 week escalation cycle, like where things are going to escalate and become big, we can expect radio blackouts, space-time distortions are going to increase. Our melatonin and circadian rhythms are going to be disrupted. Our emotional reactivity is going to spike all during the holiday season. We're going to talk about that. Our tech systems are going to glitch. We already talked about that. And so I've already seen it on my phone, on my sign-on, even with ChatGPT. It was almost like it was glitchy yesterday morning. We're going to have our human consciousness wobble around a lot, right? And we're going to feel like reality is rearranging itself. So these are not symptoms. These are upgrading. This is upgrading happening under pressure, extreme pressure. So during large surges, right, where space-time is sort of bending, like, wow, what was that? Objects are going to disappear and they're going to reappear. Time is going to speed up or it's going to stall, and your sense or orientation slips, and your body feels electrically overloaded. This is our nervous system recalibrating to this new voltage. So I have 9 assessment skills, and that's why I wanted to do this today, because I happen to be very good at assessing, whether it's clinical assessment, energetic assessment, familial assessment. That's sort of my superpower and has been for years, which is why I think these videos are working well for each of you, because I can give you very specific tools that work at the time that what I see. So these assessment skills are all about energetic leadership. Does that make sense? You know, that the indigo tools that we can sort of pull out and start to use that are going to give us some clarity. So let's start first with the definition of an assessment or assessment. Okay. In this context, it simply means that we have the ability to witness what is happening in our system without collapsing into it. And so when we go into something more deeper, it's the conscious observation without emotional entanglement. It means that we can watch it, but we don't get into. We notice the pattern by staying fully in ourselves. It is a skill of reading our internal field with data. So our sensations, our emotions, our shifts without turning them into a story, without going down into the abyss. And it is clarity in motion, observing the impact without losing our center. So assessment is the indigo skill of seeing everything clearly while staying unshakable in who you are. I love that. Okay, so the first assessment tool that we're going to talk about is, like assessment means I notice something, right? And now what do I do with it? So the first one is, where did that flare expose my weak spots? Was it fatigue, emotional volatility? Did my identity of who I am wobble? And was there a cognitive shutdown? So what I would say on Sunday is that I already had fatigue in my body. I was emotionally exhausted from managing myself really well, I would say, within a family scenario that anytime you have, in our case, 10 people in a place at one time for 4 days, there's going to be emotional pitfalls, and it was beautiful to watch how each of us managed that really well. And I had to manage the volatility, like, not I guess volatility wouldn't be the word, it would be like tipping, okay? And I absolutely couldn't do the video on Sunday because I could feel like, I don't know who I am right now, I don't know what voice I would use to talk. And my brain was just like, "Don't even think about it. Just cognitive shutdown just went, let's turn it off." So it shows you where the upgrades are landing. So for me, that was really, really, really important to expose where the solar flares were landing within my body. Okay, assessment number 2 is, what is your voltage ceiling? Like how far can I take this? How much energy can your system buffer before you need to go offline? And that's really important to know, because sometimes we're like, I got this, I got this, I got this. Nope, I don't have this. So it's knowing this removes the shame and restores us into strategy, which is, that one was bigger than I thought. So this is only what I can do today. Or I'm going to do it. I'm going to be able to be fully functional today until I catch something that says, I'm at my ceiling. It's time to stop. I need to separate and do something else. So our assessment skill is saying, where is that voltage ceiling? What is it that's going to really work, right? So the skill number 3 is, how quickly do you reorient? And this is really important, which, when we have time glitches, when we have disassociation, when we have spatial distortion, they're all really normal right now. And your assessment is, what anchors me fastest? What do I need to do to reorient? And so that's where we've talked about these tips over and over and over again. It isn't that things aren't happening on the outside. It's that now that I've assessed that they're happening on the outside, what do I need to do to reorient? Because we're in leadership. We are in our mastery, helping those ourselves and those around us, sort of by holding a frequency. So how do we reorient, right? Assessment skill number 4. Where do collective emotions bleed into your systems? This is huge. This is like, is this mine? Yeah. What if it's not mine? How do I know the difference between what's going on in December, which is so freaking loud right now, between the holidays, the Black Friday weekend, week, month, whatever we want to call that, right? There's a difference between my field and the field around me. And is it coming from the field around me? It's like, oh, I know this one. So the important part with this assessment tool is to go, is this a collective emotion, or is this mine, right? Mine or outside? Super important to have as a tool. Assessment skill number 5. Where does technology glitch when you get dysregulated? I have known this since I was in my 30s. When I dysregulate, when I get angry, when I get upset, when my energy is strained, when I get super excited, I can shut the computer down. My phone will start to like jump around. It won't. I will go to a spot that I had open, and it's not there anymore. And I used to think, what is actually going on? And so what I would say is that our biofield, right, is interacting electronically on a much stronger level now than ever. And our technology is going to mirror our electrical state. That makes sense. So then the question is, am I electrically or energetically charged? And is it dysregulating my tech, right? Makes sense. Number 6, is your emotional reaction real, or is it electrically amplified? This is really important to know. Am I having this big of an emotion or an energetic reaction, or is it a tiny one that these flares are just processing bigger and bigger and bigger? So the assessment is not judging it, but naming it, which is, wow, this is like having a loudspeaker in front of my system right now. So when we're talking, do we talk soft and try to keep it calm? Or do we get enthusiastic or demanding or frenzied because of what's going on and know that that's what's going on, that you're reacting electrically, amplifying what's going on? Okay. Number 7, what part of your identity is dissolving? Because there's going to be a part of you that actually dissolves. Because as these upgrades are coming in, there's going to be parts of you that are falling away. So upgrades always burn off our old layers, our roles, our personas, our coping strategies, our emotional reflexes, right? So what version of you is simply not accessible anymore? And so what I would say is that going into a family gathering for the first time, I think this is the first time we've all been together for this length of time in probably a decade, was watching parts of me just dissolve. It was not an issue anymore. It was so fun just to sit in a chair in front of a fireplace with a baby on my lap and just enjoy that. And so there were parts of my identity that were dissolving. And I would imagine there are parts of your identity that have been dissolving over this last month as well. Okay, assessment skill number 8. Get my numbers right. Oh, where did you stabilize others this week? That's the most important part too, is where did you stabilize others this week? Where did your frequency, where did your presence, where did your wisdom, where did your sense of self stabilize? Because indigos are voltage stabilizers. So notice where your coherence picked up and helped regulate a room or a conversation. And I would say that was probably why I was so exhausted over the weekend, was that I just kept going like, just hold your own space, Denise. Hold your own space and let everybody else move around it. It's okay. So I did stabilize myself really well and the house, right? Number 9. Okay. What is your body saying that your mind overrides? It's important to know that your body's saying something and your mind is having a conversation where it's trying to boss your body or shame your body or do something. And this is an important assessment because your body is the instrument. Your body's going to tell you what's going on. Your mind is going, never seen this before, oh no, and going into this panic mode that you don't want to actually happen. So this is where the flares speak through the sensation first and the cognition follows. So our assessment is that cognition tool, but it's saying, wow, look at there. My body's saying this and my mind wants to say something else. So assessment is listening to the sensation honestly. So when we take these 9 skills and we start to apply them, you can go in and find them in the text on the not text in if you watch the video, there's a button you can push where it'll put the words up on the side and you can grab those. And if you want me to print those 9 assessment tools out, just put it in the comments and I'll put it in one of the comments for all of you, right? So, we talked about Thanksgiving was the first opening of the programming gates that happened here in the Western culture and on the globe. And, we walked through this in the Patreon group last night, but I wanted to share with you the 5 gates that we talked about. And a gate is like a portal, or it's a door. That's not a portal. It's a door that you get to choose to walk into or not, or catch yourself being pulled towards, right? So one gate is sentimental entrainment, where nostalgia, obligation, and childhood roles come up. Makes sense. Another gate is that consumption programming, that impulse, that scarcity, that distraction, that trying to impress other people by what you can do during the holidays. Number 3, family systems get reactivated. So we start jumping back into our old identity loops. And these gates are just sort of humming and even what do I want to say, expanded by all of this this pressure that's going on within our world with the solar flares, with the holiday sort of programming that's been going on for years. It doesn't matter whether it's Christian, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, whether it is the expectation of the family and gatherings, or just the sheer presence of Hallmark movies on television every day telling you what the holiday should look like for you. It's just like, oh, please make it stop, right? So family systems are going to get reactivated. Number 4, spiritual posturing. That pressure to be like, that's what this one was a really weird one to explain last night until in our Patreon discussion group until we got it. It's almost like taking the high road and saying, well, and there's that bypassing, which is like, be the high vibration and ignore it. So what we finally came up with it was that the spiritual posturing is that ability to almost pretend like it's not affecting you and just crunch it up and pack it away somewhere, as opposed to sort of going, I know how to assess this, I know how to hold this, and I'm going to keep my frequency. That's the most powerful. Not what you say, not what you look like, not what event you hold, but how you hold your frequency. Make sense? And the last one is timeline hijacking, because these gates are going to, there's all that end of the year summation of like who you were, how did it go, the beginning of winter, I got to go inside and deal with just me. There's judgment. There's there's all these resolutions that come at the end of the year, and we're going to talk about that as we go through. There's this sort of urgency, and what I'm going to say is that there's almost an urgency to lock us into duplicating what we did this year, next year, like committing. Hey, get in a lot of debt, and then you're stuck in January through December next year. So like there's this hijacking, like which timeline is going to try to keep you over here. So I have 6 tips for you on how to take all of this and put it into place. But before I do that, I want to plug a little bit about this Patreon membership, because what we do is we collectively, all the members, share onto the gathering space all of the articles that we're reading, and we talk with each other. And then on Tuesday evenings at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we come together in a group, and it's been growing, and we just sort of throw things out and we talk about them. So if that's something you want to do, there's a link below to my Patreon, and come join us. Okay, so I have 6 tools. The first tool is that when we're doing this assessment, right? When we're experiencing these flares, when we have all this astrological stuff, is slow down your inputs. Number 1, slow down your inputs. Your system is already full. Reduce the noise, reduce the stimulation, and reduce the media. So like I had to catch myself, like, why am I scrolling when I'm in overwhelm? So I just put it down. I didn't even put music on. I just sat and watched the fire. It was really nice and calm. Number 2, choose small, linear actions. And linear means don't get so lost in swirling out there. Get down to something like, what is it? Chop wood, carry water. So like for me, that's like start to make soup, chop my vegetables, get into something that's very sequential, step by step, because it stabilizes the prefrontal cortex when the voltage is high. So list things out. Like I like to carry a grocery list with me now, because I think I have it all until I get to the store and I'm like, can't retrieve it, don't know where it is. So straight line walking, 1-step tasks, make it very linear and very small. Make sense? Number 3, let your body lead the day. If you need sleep, sleep. If you need stillness, allow it. Integration is not laziness. It is that highest level of self-care. And I had posted something on my Instagram story that, the most important thing you can do is say, hey, I'm in charge of this human body. That's it. Everything else on this earth is secondary to how I care and manage this human body. And so if your body is exhausted and needs rest or hydration, you take care of it. It makes sense. Tip number 4, hydrate like it's medicine. We've been talking about this over and over and over again. Plasma events dehydrate the fascia, the lymph, the brain, and the nerves. All of those need liquids in order to function and integrate. So hydrate consciously. Number 5, name what is dissolving and what is emerging. Name it. You're not falling apart. You're shredding a layer that cannot exist in a higher voltage anymore. Just name it. Yep. I'm no longer people pleasing. I'm no longer seeking um, people to fill my days. These are things that I'm noticing. And it's like, wow, I actually like hanging out by myself a little bit more. And you can hear it in my voice. I've stopped, you know, uh, performing as much on the video and started just simply talking to you one on one the way that I usually do when I'm in a very comfortable one on one environment. So, name what's dissolving and what's emerging. And the last one is compassion, compassion, compassion. We know this for you, for others, for the collective, because these flares are hitting our nervous systems and people are not wrong. They're overwhelmed. Compassion is not compliance, compassion is stability in a dysregulated world. So, these next 10 days will be a lot of wow and a lot of oh my God for others, but not because the world is breaking, but because your perception is recalibrating at the speed of light. Assessment is your anchor, presence is your compass, compassion is your stabilizer. We're walking through this upgrade corridor together, as always. So here we go. Here we go. I will see you, probably not Sunday, maybe Sunday morning. I have another family obligation on Sunday morning, and so I'm gonna try to get to my camera and talk to you a little bit, and if not, I'll do it Sunday afternoon. You take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.